Hello, all you wonderful people. My name's Doc, your host for all things healing, and I saw a post on Reddit not too long ago that kinda led me down a rabbit hole, so I want to put my thoughts in a video. The post was asking, where should the next expansion take place? And it reminded me that it's about time that I start thinking about that too. With my speculation about 2025's location being the first ever ESO video that I posted on my channel, this subject does have a bit of a soft spot in my heart. So, let's talk about what we might be getting up to in the Elder Scrolls Online in 2026. So the first and always the biggest question on everyone's minds is, where are we going? And while last year I made some decent predictions, I don't think anyone saw Solstice coming. Other than a teaser about a Dark Brotherhood season, I haven't heard any specific rumors or keywords or anything like that, but I feel pretty confident in saying that I think we'll be going back to Skyrim in some form or fashion. Where exactly in Skyrim we're going, I'm not 100% sure, but if I had to guess, I'd say Dawnstar. So why do I think that? Well, 2026 will be the 15th anniversary of the original release of Skyrim. Now you may be thinking, yeah, the 15-year anniversary would be a great time to release a Skyrim chapter, but there aren't any signs pointing to that. Or are there? Take a look at this comment from Willie the Hippie, great name by the way, on a thread from about a month ago. Zoss seems to love 15-year anniversaries. When Morrowind turned 15 in 2017, we got the Morrowind chapter. When Oblivion turned 15 in 2021, we got the Blackwood chapter. Now, Skyrim is turning 15 in 2026, and if Zoss follows the trend, we'll be going back to Skyrim. It's also important to note, though, that as of this past year, ESO began to make a shift towards seasonal content, so I'll be honest, I'm not exactly sure how things will play out. It's quite possible that we don't see Central Skyrim fully filled out in 2026. It's quite possible that we don't get a Skyrim-related story until Q3 or Q4 of 2026, and I'll be honest, it's also quite possible that we don't even get a new zone at all. But I'm going to go into this with the assumption that we'll at least get something. The reason I focused on Dawnstar is due to the Dark Brotherhood teaser from ESO Direct 2025. In Skyrim, we knew of two Dark Brotherhood sanctuaries, one in Falkreath and one in Dawnstar. Since the Dawnstar sanctuary was abandoned by the time we got there in the events of Skyrim, I think it would be a perfect setting for a Dark Brotherhood story in ESO. This comment also mentioned that a zone dev did say that we were not getting Winterhold in 2026, hence why I didn't suggest it as a possible candidate. Either way, whether we get Whiterun, whether we get Dawnstar, or even if they just give us a new story in Eastmarch or the Rift, I still feel pretty confident in saying that something will take us back to somewhere in Skyrim in 2026. Moving on to our possible story beats of 2026, I want to dial in on that Dark Brotherhood teaser from ESO Direct earlier this year that I just mentioned. I personally love the idea of expanding on the Dark Brotherhood and eventually the other guilds as well, so I'm pretty pumped, honestly. Even if I'm dead wrong about the location, I know we can at least talk about the story of the Dark Brotherhood. Typically, Dark Brotherhood stories tend to focus on family, betrayal, and revenge. Since ESO has already done their own version of that in the Dark Brotherhood DLC, I'm thinking we might actually see the story take a different direction. Where that may be going, I'm not sure. Maybe the story could focus on a rival guild of assassins encroaching on the Brotherhood's territory. Maybe the Dark Brotherhood clashes with the Thieves Guild or the Fighters Guild, or maybe we do just stick with the classic, the law is hunting you down, take 'em out first kind of story. Either way, again, I'm super pumped about returning to the Dark Brotherhood. Even though I am a healer, sometimes it can be pretty cool sneaking around and doing some crimes. The question is, though, will the Dark Brotherhood story be the central pillar of 2026's narrative? We don't really have any major ongoing narratives right now with any Daedric princes or vampire lords or dragons or anything like that, so we really could go in just about any direction at this point. I wouldn't mind if the Dark Brotherhood was our sort of central narrative of 2026, but I'm not sure if that would be able to set up a big bad evil guy, as the Dark Brotherhood stories are usually more grounded outside of our interactions with Sithis or the Night Mother. After everything we've just spent the past couple years fighting, I'll be honest, I think you probably need something pretty strong and intimidating to grab the player's attention. But anyway, let's move on to our next topic. Any possible new skill lines or game systems that we might see. Now, this is a really interesting one to me because we already have a Dark Brotherhood skill line. I suppose it wouldn't be impossible for ZOS to simply add more passives to the existing Dark Brotherhood line and call it a day, but I truly don't think that that's going to be the case. It's possible that we get a new class, but with ZOS still working on fine-tuning subclass balancing, I think it'll still be a little while before we get a new class. If they were keeping in theme with the past couple years of play your way on as many or as few characters as you want, I could see ZOS finally adding the highly requested feature of being able to change your base class. I mean, sure, that could be as simple as adding a class change token to the crown store, but I think ZOS knows they would get a lot of goodwill with the community if that system were free to all players like subclassing and now scribing. I mean, of course, they could add any number of features, but my wishlist item would be a way to change our base class in-game. Another possibility is crossplay and cross-save, though I think that is a very small possibility. I know ZOS had said that they were looking into the technology and the foundations needed to implement crossplay, but the way that they talk about it usually implies, to me at least, that crossplay and cross-save are very low on the priority list. Regardless of what sort of game system comes out, I'm willing to bet it stays on the trend of hybridization and reducing the need for alts. Up next, let's talk about any possible major balance changes I could see or any items that could be added. Now, I can't predict the future, but I can sure talk about what I want. Firstly, I'd love some way of gaining minor heroism that isn't a heroism potion. The proposed ulti-gen passive changes back during the Update 47 PTS were a good start, but tanks and especially healers would love some other way of gaining minor heroism, preferably something that can keep a 100% uptime, which was kind of the biggest problem with the Update 47 PTS changes. If you want my honest opinion, throw minor heroism on the Radiant Aura skill and let the healer with Restoring Light provide it for the whole team. Boom. Easy. Done. That may be a bit imbalanced, but so are the prices of heroism potions, so I don't really care. I'm just kidding. But seriously though, I would love to see some way of getting minor heroism aside from heroism potions. Speaking of skills and buffs, nothing would make me happier than getting a mythic that gives us a third skill bar, or even just a single extra skill on each bar. I can't speak for everyone, but it seems like bar space is tighter than ever in the age of subclassing, so having some way of getting some extra bar space would be a massive W. Outside of that, there isn't really too much I'd like to see. I mean, obviously ZOS will continue to balance subclassing until it's where they want it, but I don't have much else on my wish list. We'll have to reevaluate once ZOS feels comfortable with the state of balance, but for now, yeah man, just let me get some more bar space and a better way of getting minor heroism. And finally, it wouldn't be a doc video without talking about healing-related stuff and things. My thoughts from last year remain pretty much the same. The biggest thing that I want is pure healers to be more relevant in 4-man content and lower difficulty content. But I also understand that they don't want to make dungeons too difficult for the average group. As I've talked about before, maybe they could make overhealing do more than just make me smile at my heal parse. Maybe overhealing could provide some sort of utility to the group that could directly or indirectly increase group damage. I know that it's a delicate balance, otherwise you could end up with some ridiculous metas and insane power creep, but I hold firm that high heal parses from good healers should be more useful to their team other than just requirements for getting into a vet trial. You could also potentially just reduce the effectiveness of self-healing in group settings, essentially just being like a Ring of Pale Order effect. None of that will probably happen, and I know that there will be some people who are against any changes to healing and healers, but I hope that there's something that will eventually make healers feel a little more necessary in 4-man content. And I think that was everything that I wanted to talk about today. I thought about waiting until October to post this so that I could post it on kind of the 1-year anniversary of the other video, but Between Update 48, the Writhing Wall event, and my 1-year anniversary on YouTube, October is going to be a busy month for me, so I figured I'd just go ahead and get this out of the way now. As always, I hope you enjoyed the video and found it useful. Don't forget to check out the link in the description so you can follow me on stuff and join my Discord server. Before we head out, I also want to give a quick shout out to my Patreon supporters Tyler Scott, Dylan Stewart, Sharni Lee, and Carlos Camacho, as well as my YouTube members King Gingy, Durgy, insert username, Timeburn, and Malcolm Ewing. Thank you for your continued support, and I appreciate you guys. I think all I've got left to say is that I've been Doc. Take care of yourselves, be good to others, don't forget to take your vitamins today, and I will catch y'all in the next one.